The river that remembered. Far beyond the reach of roads and towns, it traced its way through a dense forest, carving gently through stone and soil as it had for centuries. The river was neither wide nor fierce. Its waters moved with a quiet steadiness, slipping over smooth rocks and gathering in pools that reflected the sky. The forest listened to its song, a soft and endless murmur that threaded through the trees like the voice of something ancient and knowing. The river's journey began high in the mountains, where snowmelt trickled down from jagged peaks, gathering strength as it wove its way toward the valley below. It passed through meadows where wildflowers drank from its edge, and beneath branches heavy with moss that dipped low to greet it. Along its banks, stones of every size lay nestled into the earth, their surfaces worn smooth by the gentle passage of time. The river had seen many seasons come and go, and with each passing year it carried pieces of the land forward, fallen leaves, drifting seeds and fragments of bark. It gathered these small offerings without hesitation, holding them close until they found new places to rest. But not all that the river carried was light. Sometimes storms raged through the forest, sending branches crashing into the water. The river held these too, cradling them as they tumbled downstream, catching on rocks or settling into quiet bends along the shore. There was one bend where the river curved sharply around a cluster of large stones, forming a pool that shimmered beneath the canopy of the trees. This place had become a resting point for much of what the river carried, a quiet sanctuary where the water slowed and the forest reflected back upon itself. In the heart of this pool, a fallen tree lay half submerged, its roots still gripping a mound of earth that had come loose from the river bank. The tree's branches stretched into the water, creating ripples that danced outward with each passing breeze. The river did not rush to push the tree along. It simply flowed around it, patient and steady. Over time, the rough edges of the trunk softened, and moss began to grow along the bark. Small fish wove between its branches, and dragonflies hovered just above the surface, their wings flickering in the sunlight. Seasons passed, and the tree remained in the river's gentle embrace, slowly becoming part of the landscape itself. The pool deepened, shaped by the quiet persistence of the water, until it became a place of stillness and reflection. One autumn, as the leaves turned to gold and drifted down to rest on the surface, the river swelled with rain. The water rose, lifting the fallen tree just enough to loosen its grip on the earth. Without sound or struggle, the tree began to drift downstream, carried once again by the current. The river held it carefully, guiding it around bends and over shallow stones. It did not fight the tree's movement, nor did it try to hold it back. The tree's journey was simply part of the river's own, a quiet dance that had no end and no beginning. When the rain slowed and the waters receded, the tree found a new resting place farther downstream, nestled among a grove of willows whose roots curled into the river's edge. There the tree settled into the soil, its branches rising just above the surface like the reaching arms of an old friend. The willows bent toward the tree, their leaves trailing in the water, and the river continued its path, humming softly as it passed by. The forest listened, and the stones along the shore held the memory of the tree's journey, the soft reminder that nothing the river carried was ever truly lost. The river did not keep what it carried, it simply held it for as long as it was needed, allowing each piece to move forward when the time was right. And in doing so, the river itself was shaped not by the weight of what it held, but by the quiet release that followed. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky deepened into soft blues and greys, the river shimmered beneath the stars, its surface calm and steady. The forest stretched wide around it, the trees leaning closer as if to listen to the soft murmur of water passing by. The river remembered everything it had carried, but it did not cling to the past. It flowed forward, knowing that the beauty of its journey lay not in what it held onto, but in the way it continued, always moving, always singing, always carrying the quiet lessons of the land it touched.